Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. And today we're going to be looking at my 8.7 lineup for Germany. And started off, we have the Leopard A1A1, and I have the L44 variant with the 120mm Rheinmetall cannon. I also have the TAM and the Gepard, or the Gepard, I don't know why I put an O in there, and the Horton 229 version 3 and the Kugelblitz. Please don't judge me about the Horton. It's my only high-ranking aircraft, other than the other 7.0 American jet I have. But the vehicle of discussion today is actually going to be the Gepard. Not really the other two Leopards I have, or the TAM, which I'll be doing a first impression on the TAM. The Gepard, I love it. I think I'm the only one in the Elite Squadron that actually has a self-guided, well, not really a self-guided, but more of a radar-guided SPAA. All in all, it's a well-diverse machine. It can hunt aircraft. It can also hunt tanks if needed. It is on a hull of a Leopard, so you do have the mobility. It forgoes the armor protection of other main battle tanks of the era, but you do have that maneuverability and some flexibility to get yourself into trouble, but to still get yourself out of trouble if needed. It does have twin 35mm Oerlikon KDA cannons with 680 rounds in them. The turret rotation is 60.2 degrees a second. The fire rate is 550 shots per minute, meaning that if you hold down the left mouse or the left trigger or whatever you have your keybind to, you will run out of shots really quickly with this machine. The reload rate between the different types of belts is 1.2 seconds, but you can even drop that even lower with certain crew skills. The hull armor is, again, the same as Leopards, so you have 30mm on the front, 25 on the sides, and 20 in the rear of the machine. The turret armor is 25 in the front, 20 on the sides, and 20 in the rear. The turret, you won't be actually ricocheting anything off of this tank unless it's on a extreme angle. Armor penetration, for right now, I have it at 65mm of penetration. More on that later. You do have a crew of 3, so survivability in this machine is meh. If we look at the Leopard A1A1 here, the non-premium, you do have full crew, meaning that you do have, whoa, that's a lot of ammunition. Yeah, I don't recommend loading up Leopards in straight ammunition, meaning that you have 3 crew members in the turret, 1 in the hull. Same in this variant here, the L4. And the TAM, again, same layout, 3 in the crew, 3 in the turret, 1 in the driver, and the Gepard, you have 2 in the turret and 1 in the hull. Meaning that if you get shot in the turret, and if either X-ray here, your commander goes down, or if your gunner goes down, you can still survive on 2 crew members. But if both of your crew members in the turret go down, well, you're kind of pooched. Yeah, the Gepard is actually pretty good. It does weigh a bit hefty at 46 tons compared to the Leopard A1A1, which weighs 42.4 tons, and the L44 just beating that at 43 tons. But don't let that discourage you. This machine can still get up and go. It's just the turret and the extra weight of the radar and the tracking radar detector weighing it down. Other than that, this is a pretty quick machine. It can reach 57 kilometers an hour respectively. So if you look into modifications, I do have the DM11A1 shells. You could opt to just go with the standard default rounds, which have the armor-piercing incendiary tracers mixed in with the high explosive incendiary tracers self-destroying. The best way to identify them is the APITs, or the red shells, and the HEITs, or the yellow indicating shells. So I go with the second shells, is just because the high explosive shells are 4 in a row, and then you have the 3 in a row, and the 4th one is the armor piercing. or you can opt to go with the DM13s, which is pretty much the exact opposite. I am researching the DM23, which is the APDS rounds, which have 112 millimeters of penetration at 10 meters, and as APDS stands for Armor Piercing Discarding Saber Shell, meaning that dealing with heavy armored main battle tanks at a distance or even up close is that much more easier. But saying that you can't really go through a main battle tank with the DM11A1s or even the default rounds, you can. It's a little bit more tricky because again, you only have 67 millimeters of penetration on all these different 3 shells, or not shells, but belts, I should say. It is tricky, but it is definitely doable. My recommendations for pretty much grinding up any tank is go for parts and FPE first off, and depending on what vehicle you are grinding up, I usually go with a different shell right off the bat. Then I go with either suspension, tracks, or brakes, and then I try going for a bit more of the firepower, then protection. After when I research the FPE, then I go into my mobility. But again, that's just me. You can upgrade your vehicles any way you want. This is just the way that I do things. So, other than that, is the Gepard worth having in your 8.7 or 8.0 lineup? Well, let's look at the other SPAA that the Germans have. Well, I have the 7.0 Kugelblitz, the 647 Black Panzer 341, and of course you have the ever so trusty Ostwind and Wirbelwind. I do love both of these machines. I never really got into the Flak Panzer 341. The Kugelblitz, I do enjoy. I am indeed going to be getting the Flak Lightning Panzer 1 Roland 2. And if I butchered that, I do apologize. But yes, the Gepard is definitely worth having in your 8.0 and 8.7 lineup, even when you go up to 9.7 and 10.0, the Gepard is definitely worth it. And I have some gameplay that can really quite bolster that. And disclaimer, if you guys don't really like seeing a lot of gameplay with an SPAA just pretty much sitting on one spot and just mowing down, waves of enemy planes, thank you for watching, and yes, I do recommend getting the Gepard. Gepard is definitely worth it, but for those who are wanting to sit and enjoy the battle that I had, which I don't really post too many high battle rating gameplay, sit back and enjoy, and I hope you guys like it. So here is the replay that I have for us today. It's me in the Italian map. It's not one of my, most favorite maps, especially in the high battle rating. But it is, enjoyable when you get into the mid battle rating vehicles. But nonetheless, we are in the L44 variant of the Leopard A1A1. And before you guys say, oh, well, you bought this premium and you da-da-da-da-da, yeah, kind of, sort of. I did. I'm guilty for that. But at least when I got this vehicle, I played arcade with it. I tried to grind out for a couple of other 8.0, 8.7 vehicles, and then I took this machine out to realistic battles. So that is what we are in today. So first off, we see a M48 Patton. I do believe that is what that is. And we take a nice little shot on the move, because again, the Leopards at 8.7 actually have stabilizers, not like the 7.7 we get at the Leopard 1. So we take another little shot at him. We only managed to yellow his track, and we see a whole prototype, or is that whole B? Again, you guys have the prompts. It's really hard for me to see. And again, yes, this was a realistic battle and not an arcade. You guys can hear the chopping of blades behind me, because that is actually indeed the enemy helicopter. The tank destroyer does take a nice little punt at us, but, well, he kind of rushed the shot and he missed. And we also managed to disable, I think that's now a Japanese medium tank. The helicopter behind us did in fact fire a ATGM at us, and he missed. That's why you saw us looking back. I do like getting into this position early and especially mid-game. I think that's an STB1. We managed to take out the gunner once again, and this is where overconfidence and poor marksmanship, fails on my part, and we are trying ever so desperately to take out these Japanese vehicles in front of us, and that may or may not be our downside. You see some artillery, so we try to take out, and we didn't really do anything spectacular, and the enemy Huey manages to take us down with a ATGM, so kudos to you and a well-played shot. It was just very overconfidence and poor marksmanship with me when it came to the Leopard. But we spawned in our Gepard, and we unleashed a hellfire of 30mm Orlikins at him, and we managed to get a Eye for an Eye award, and we managed to take out the enemy Huey. As pretty much the Gepard in a nutshell. If you get taken out, this thing only costs 20 spawn points, so even spawning in this vehicle early game is not that big of a deal. So we see a little blimp on our radar, and we check around us, and we just notice that it's just a friendly aircraft. And that's the one thing I noticed with the replay. They don't really show you the radar mode for the SPAA, which is quite, trolling in a way, because especially when I'm trying to showcase this. We see now enemy Huey managed to take out a little bit of his tail assembly, and we managed to take down the second Huey. So we see an enemy plane, we're tracking him with our radar. Again, I'm still kind of sort of getting used to the whole radar mechanic. So if it looks like I am missing very easy shots or anything like that, it's probably because I am, because I'm still quite new. And I think that is a OY2Y, or the other Japanese jet that I see a lot of people in. No bother though, he is trying to go after I think that is a P-47, the Russian P-47. Again, it's very hard for me to, see the prompts. We managed to take out our third aircraft, which is nice. One point of advice that I can give you guys is, if you guys are playing in any type of SPAA, doesn't matter what battle rating, hold your fire until the enemies least expected, and we managed to claim a fourth air kill. And if you hold your fire to pretty much the enemy planes directly above you or pretty damn close, we managed to claim our fifth. And I get a bit cheeky in the chat. I don't normally do that, but I was extremely happy with my performance. I'm like, no fly zone, stuff like that. But I quickly follow that up with another comment. Normally I'm not this cheeky when I'm playing, but again, I was extremely thrilled that I managed to get an ace in this vehicle. And one of the other lads on the enemy team pipes up, and actually, ironically enough, he was the Huey pilot who managed to take me down in the Leopard, and I managed to take him down when I got into the Gepard. So, other than that, the Gepard is a very laid-back, long-range, it's an SPAA. What more do I have to say? It shoots Heineken other than 20mm. Well, I could probably say that. We see a enemy strike aircraft coming in. Again, you guys have the luxury of knowing where the enemies are. Again, me playing in realistic, I had no clue. So again, firing in short bursts and SPAA is really worth it. I hear an engine of a plane coming, I react very quickly, and we managed to claim our 6th kill in the aircraft. Well, in the SPAA, I should say. And with the magic of editing, I am going to cut out me actually faffing around with this aircraft. And we're going to go straight into the town, because I'm going to showcase the other feature of the Gepard, which is hunting down enemy tanks when they least expect it. And no, I'm not using, as I said, the APDS belts. I am using the second variant that you can use in the Gepard. So when you are trying to get into a town or an urban combat situation, you want to try to make your signature or your tank as low as possible. And well, the turret of this thing is quite large, so how do you really do that? Well, there is one thing I can give you guys as a tip, is to shut off your radar when you guys are going into an urban combat situation. Is because with the radar, it cannot track through buildings or solid objects. So with that being said, I see a smoke screen I'm approaching a smoke screen. Any second now, boom, I shut off my radar. You guys know exactly what's in the smoke. I did not at the time. I'm like, well, hello there, and we managed to knock out its crew. So with that being said, I really hope that you guys liked today's mini review of the Gepard 8.0 German rated SPAA. I'll catch you guys next time.